Who Said Rock is Dead? This is the Mosh Pit Podcast with your hosts, Wes and Ashley, showcasing the best in unsigned and indie new alt rock.
Hey guys, welcome to the Mosh Pit. Today we have an interview with the band Ethos.
These guys have been with me for a long time before this pit actually got started, and we finally got them in studio today with my amazing co-host.
Nah, he's lying.
So hope you guys enjoy this one.
Yep.
Pit. I'm your host, Wes Everett, with my lovely co-host.
Hey guys, I'm Ashley.
And I've got a kick-ass band for you today.
I'm Trib, play drums in the band Ethos. I'm Austin, and I sing and play the keys.
And these guys are Ethos. They've been with me for far longer than I give them credit for. Because they have been amazing, and this is the first time getting them in the studio, which I'm super excited about. So,
Yeah, happy to be
Likewise, yeah.
so guys, you just released your newest album. We'll start there, maybe work our way back through your discography, talk about some of the live shows and stuff that you've done, and let's talk about putting that new album together.
here. Yeah, well, we were just kind of talking about this before we went on, but we started recording these songs in 2020, early 2020, and obviously ran into some roadblocks there. So it took a little bit longer than we wanted to, but we finished it up last year. And it just came out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of, I wouldn't say snags, but just different life events past few years, and it took a little longer than I think we initially planned, but
Yeah, well,
yeah,
I mean,
this is life.
when a world pandemic shuts everything
Right.
down, I would imagine you were saying earlier, it's kind of hard to put people in a studio together when we can't be,
Yeah.
any closer than 6 feet.
Right, right, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's some remote work that we were able to get done during that time, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of changes in the band. I wouldn't say, I'd say a major change was we had an additional member join during, or I guess after our second album, Shade and Soil. So Kuiper Cummings came in to finish up some of the guitars on that album, and then after that became a full-time member. Then our original guitarist, Matt Palapoli, rejoined the band, so figuring out those dynamics, with 5 members versus 4, took a little time too, so.
Yeah, and we were talking about this as well. You guys haven't played a live show with 5 people yet, but the
yet.
coordination of 5 people on stage without fumbling over each other is going to be something fun to see you guys
Yeah,
do.
trying to figure out who's standing where, because
Yeah.
we've had our spots for so many years.
Now you gotta. All right, everybody, take 2 scooches to the left.
Right.
that's right.
Hey, listen, I got a band that they've got like 7 or 8 members, so I know you guys can do it.
How the hell do you
Yeah, we
put
can
that
do
many
it.
people on a stage?
They got like a keyboardist and a fiddle player, and I mean it's a thing.
There's a lot
Yeah,
of,
it's
2
crowded.
guitar players, keyboard player, a singer. There's a lot of bands, 6 or 7
Yeah.
members. So
Well, those stage size comes into play there. It's look, during the live show, everybody's going to be bouncing around. It's going to be fun. Just make sure when you go to headbang with something, don't headbang into somebody else's guitar.
Yeah.
Been there, seen that, not pretty.
Yeah.
we've played a lot of very small stages too, so you just kind of have to stay stationary. You got your 2 inches of
A
space
wiggle.
you can move. Yeah.
You're not doing the cool spin the guitar around.
Nobody is spinning guitars like Jesse Cash on that small
Yeah.
ass stage unless you want to beat the crap out of somebody.
Right. No.
Oh man. So yeah, dude, it's great to have you guys in here, and that's it sucks that everything happened with the whole 2020 nonsense. We had our own issue. This nice little gray line here. We had a flood in May.
Of
Water-
2020?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, water that high. We saved everything actually. We only lost one piece of equipment, so
That's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
But it was cool because we were able to put the studio back kind of in a better configuration, which you guys are now in.
Yeah, it looks great.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the lighting, the ambiance in here.
we
It's a
love
good
it.
cave.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Like I said, the best studios tend to be cave.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I love it. I love it. So you had Vessels and then Shade and Soil.
Yeah, and there was an EP between those 2 as well, which was, or was that after?
No, it was 2014. So that was it was an acoustic EP right after Vessels, which was 4 songs from that album, just sort of reimagined an acoustic environment, and then
Plus Evergreen.
Evergreen
Which was on
was like
Shade
the
and
single.
Soil.
That was the new song,
Right.
Yeah.
in which we did the full band version in 2017 on Shade and Soil. So kind of did it backwards, I think. Most bands do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's it like for you guys when you go in the studio to put a song down? You're recording it. What is the plan? What do you guys do?
Where to begin? We do everything self-produced. So Austin's he does many things in the band. He mixes everything, he records it, along with obviously playing the instruments and singing. So I guess you start with the writing process of somebody comes up with an idea, whether it be on piano or guitar, and like you said earlier, sending stuff back and forth remotely.
Mm-hmm.
I guess a lot of times we're not a band that has songs fully written and then go into a recording session. We're writing it as we record.
Yeah, that does tend to happen a lot because we are self-producing. So, and often, and this happened with the EP, An Eye for an Eye, a lot. With vocally, we'd have a lot of the instrumentation down, and I would just take a swing at a vocal idea. And a lot of what you actually hear on the recording is my first just, hey, let me try something. And somehow the words worked, the melodies worked, things like that. And so those would hang around because by the time we got to, final tracking guitars or drums or whatever, I'd kind of listen back to the vocal and maybe try re-recording it. Let me get a final take. I think I could do that better. And turns out I couldn't. It was just something about that magic moment where it all just came out. And so I love that we are able to capture those things. A lot of bands, I don't think, have the opportunity to keep their scratch tracks as a final take,
Right.
Mm-hmm. I guess the organicness of it comes out in the moment, and it translates really well to the recording.
Yeah.
But I have found that songs like that, where in the moment the authenticity comes through, and the person who's enjoying it back, and even you guys too, you can truly hear it, and those make for the best songs.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Well, you're kind of taking some chances, which gives you kind of more of that live feel and authenticity there that is lost a lot of times when you're just doing the same take over and over again in the studio, which happens a lot too.
And we talked about this. There's a band that I talk about a lot, is Bad Omens. They self-produced their second record, and I feel like from the first to the second, you can hear the authenticity because, they had Sumerian Records behind them for the money part of it, but because they were producing it themselves, you could truly hear the authenticity behind it versus, all right, the record label says you have to do it this way, do it this way. So, I like the authenticity behind stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we've not had any sort of situation so far where, we're paying money to be in a studio. We've got to get it done in 2 weeks, and it'd be interesting to see how that would play out. It might be a better thing if you've got that pressure, to sort of knock stuff out versus taking 4 years to every minute little detail.
Yeah, but paying really good attention to every minute detail tends to turn out the best stuff. BOCD, the one meme of the skeleton sitting in front of the board saying, it's almost perfect.
Yeah. You have to know when to quit. You have to know when
When to put it down and be like,
right.
all right, that's it.
Right.
Hands up.
Yeah.
Don't George Lucas it and just keep adding stuff.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Come back and change things, re-release several times. No, we
Right.
won't do that.
God, no, that just, no.
Leave my Force Ghost alone.
I love it. Now, you said you still have like basically your B-roll from a lot of your takes.
Sort of. I mean, we've got all the tracks. We keep a lot of old takes, old ideas. I don't know. In your sessions, do you keep all the old?
Yeah, a lot of them are there.
Would you ever put them out like on a special edition? Hey, look, here's some
Like a
behind the
demo
scenes.
version?
Yeah.
Or,
Oh, yeah, like how it evolved.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some tracks that evolved quite a bit.
yeah.
But typically, if that's the case, and there's just something about it that we're all not agreeing on in a way. Like, some songs happen really fast. It happens really easy, and it seems to be because everyone's excited about it. Then there's times where it's like almost there, but there's just something, and we're just the kind of people that if there's something bothering us, like we're just not going to put it out that way. Like, we've learned we're not going to. It's not going to be released until it's done, right? Like until we all feel good about it. So I think that there used to be, like when we were younger, maybe there was this fear of, oh, it just doesn't feel right. Maybe this song isn't it. But just understanding that through the process, it'll get there or it won't.
Right, yeah. You got to give it time. But there's a lot of songs on this EP, I think, that's started out, we either one or some of us were just not on board and fleshed it out more. And it's a couple that were my favorite on there now that I was not too excited about to begin with.
Right.
So it's a cool process.
Yeah, like we were saying, part of that is just working out what's it like, what's the dynamic like now with 5 people. We all, even just with 4 of us at any given time, it was a pretty vast array of influences. I mean, there are intersections that we have, but for us all 5 to intersect on certain bands, it's really rare, which also just plays into the kind of chaotic nature of our discography.
But if that's the case, then I do have a question, because now that there's 5 of you, even when there was 4 of you, at any point did you guys ever feel like there were too many cooks in the kitchen? Did you ever have that feeling? Because I've heard
It can happen sometime. I think overall, no, but there's moments or there's certain songs where, one person might have more of a vision for it, and it's mostly fleshed out, and you've got others wanting to force it in there maybe. But for the most part, I say it's very collaborative, and we're open with, what we think and what others think. So there's it's compromise, but like Austin said, we're not going to really put it out or go further with it if we're not excited about it. So
Okay.
Yeah, I think everyone is really open, and I think we trust each other as well. Like, Trip may have an idea for a certain section that I just never, like, I can't really hear it that way, but I trust him, and so I want to hear him do it that way. And so that's typically what we do. We do kind of a try it anyway method. It's like, I don't agree, but let's try it anyway. Because when you hear something back, I mean, you just can't imagine it in your mind the way that you hear it, and that it hits you when you're hearing it in the room. So we do a lot of that.
Hear them out. Let them cook.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Try and taking a yes and approach rather than no, I don't like that. Just I like that. What if we do that? But we tried it a little bit different
Right.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always been one of my things is if you're gonna shoot down my idea, at least have something to back it up.
Yeah.
No, I don't like that. Okay, what do you want to do? I don't know. No.
Don't be that person, please. Like that doesn't sound great, but and if you don't have the but part, please shut up. Yes. Please be quiet.
Kuiper would like that. Kuiper,
that's his.
That's
He's
his
said
motto
that
for
exact
sure.
thing many times.
Yeah, if you don't like it, tell me why.
Exactly.
So that I
Yeah.
can do something that you do like.
Right.
Yes.
Because if you don't give me a why, I'm just gonna be like, well, fuck you. If you don't like it, I'm gonna keep going. Like, hello,
Yeah.
just being a hater.
Right.
You're just in the band. You're not our demographic.
Like, shh, sit down.
A lot of it too, it takes us a while. Obviously, I think we take time to mull it over, and we don't decide a lot of stuff just permanently in the room right then. There's a lot of ideas that come together, but we'll sit on it for a while and see if it sparks anything, or if everyone's still in disagreement, we'll revisit.
Yeah.
Just slap some duct tape on it, and hopefully it'll circle back around. You can put that on the shelf for now.
There you go. Now, as far as your live shows, because we caught you at what was it? The Cigar Bar in Rome.
Yeah, old Havana.
Oh, upstairs, yeah.
Yeah.
That venue is not there anymore.
that's right.
but-
No,
I mean,
it's
the cigar
not.
bar is, but not the
Right.
upstairs
Yeah.
venue.
I think a lot of the venues in Rome are kind of gone.
Yeah, because what used to be Brew House was Peaches, and due
And
to
everything else.
the fact that the lady who used to own Peaches didn't have the brain cell, Peaches is no mas.
Yeah.
I have no idea what it's going to be now. And then, you can still catch live music at, Dark Side.
Right.
But even then, that's very, they have a set schedule.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to get into Dark Side.
Now, Dark Side and the Moonroof, they're two separate, right?
So,
They're under the same umbrella.
They
I
are.
believe.
They're all
Yeah.
owned by Harvest Moon.
Yeah.
So it's Dark Side is the bar that's downstairs that faces Broad Street, and then Moonroof faces the back way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they both, like the downstairs one, they've got a spot upstairs, right? Or they used to? The green room, maybe?
I don't remember. I don't think so. I know that there's an upstairs space at Mellow Mushroom, but that's
I
up
didn't
on
know
the
about that.
third floor, and typically that's used for like weddings and stuff like that. And then across there's there's V3, but they're owned by Harvest Moon, and that's really more of like a wedding venue space.
Yeah.
Oh, the Vogue.
The Vogue, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I played in the DeSoto Theater. Played some great shows there.
Yeah.
But Rome has some great beer gardens, and so I think like if you're seeing music in Rome, a lot of times you're seeing it outdoors. We cut our teeth in Atlanta because there weren't a ton of venue options in Rome, and so that was kind of our backyard. And then moved into more regional, where we went to Knoxville a lot. Knoxville was really good to us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's... No, go ahead, sorry.
Did we play Nashville on that? I think we did, right?
Yeah, we played in Nashville a couple times.
Where have you guys played in Nashville? Do you
Was that
know?
Daisy Dukes?
We played at Daisy Dukes once. I don't remember the name of the other venue.
Was it the Viper Room?
I don't think so. Oh, I've played at what's that one with all the names on the walls? I don't know if it's there anymore. I think COVID killed it.
It's not Marathon Music Works, because that place is a
No.
little bit bigger. It wasn't always that big, but it's as big as it is now. It's like a mid-sized venue, Marathon.
The only one I keep thinking of is Bluebird, but that's more country.
That is more
yes.
country-esque. I can't remember the name of the other one. I know what you're talking about,
Yeah,
though.
it's a historic
Yeah.
venue.
Yeah.
We played there too.
So, I mean, and did you guys ever get a chance to play in the original Masquerade?
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
2 times? 3?
2 or 3 actually.
Yeah.
I think we played in
Purgatory or Hell?
We played Purgatory twice, and we played in Hell once.
Yes.
Yeah.
I miss the old Masquerade.
Yeah,
I won't get
that's-
over it.
Yeah, it was a great spot.
It was. And then,
Yeah.
I mean, the Tabernacle is still cool and all,
Yeah.
but it's been revamped a few times. And
Right.
man, I miss the Drunken Unicorn.
Is it not there?
It's gone.
Is it really?
That's a great-
The
that was a
building
great
is
venue.
gone
I
because
didn't know
they
that.
they built up that area,
Mm-hmm.
and where the Drunken Unicorn was, like near, there was the tattoo shop right beside it.
Mm-hmm.
That whole plaza has been redone. I think it's a Publix and a couple of like indie restaurants now.
It's a shame. Yeah.
It is. It is. As somebody who grew up running around the Atlanta music scene, yes, it is a shame to see those places go.
Yeah, we're gonna have to, once we start playing, probably all new venues, all new, reacquaint ourselves with everything.
The
out there.
post-COVID world.
Oh, God.
Venues.
I mean-
which ones made it?
Yeah.
Well, here's good news. They're building an amphitheater over here in the park. So,
Oh, really?
Yes.
Nice.
Okay. That's
So,
awesome. Good
you
deal.
know, hopefully we can get Rock Mart rolling with some music and
Yeah.
live stuff.
That'd be great.
It would
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
But now, you guys, when y'all played the Havana Cigar Bar, dude, I remember walking in and thinking, oh my God, this place is tiny. Because it was no wider than this studio.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Downstairs,
like a
the
long-
cigar, or upstairs.
The
Upstairs.
upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very long and narrow.
Right.
Uh-huh. And these guys had drone videos going too.
That's
yeah,
right.
someone
So how
was
did
doing
that
a drone
turn
video.
out?
There's some pretty cool shots
Yeah.
from that
I can't
actually.
remember who did that for us.
Austin Wiggins, maybe.
Really?
Shout out to I think so.
Dang. Okay.
But there's, we
Or
do have
Terry,
some
I
cool,
can't remember.
some cool footage that we use for just some promo stuff. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if we put it in a video or anything.
No, I don't think so.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great show. It
That
was
was.
pretty packed in there.
Yeah.
That was our release show, I think,
Yeah.
for Shade and Soil.
hmm
I guess that's our last show, right?
I think that was the last
one?
time we played
Yeah.
live. Yeah,
It's crazy.
at least in the area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Schroeder's, is it still?
Yeah,
they still
Schroeder's
do
has
Yeah.
renovated the
outdoor space in the
area.
back,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
really nice back there.
See, I don't get down Broad anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
see-
ever since they closed all the good music venues, we're just like,
Yeah.
plus we don't know anybody anymore because I don't
Yeah.
know anybody that plays. We're kind of at the where we were when we started this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole circling back around. I remember going back to that area in Schroeder's as a teenager and seeing some pretty good stuff back there. But I haven't been back there in a long time, so I'm sure the revamp looks really
Yeah,
nice.
it's great. It's nice.
That's awesome. That's cool. Yeah. So, what do you guys? What's next for Ethos? What do you guys got coming up? What's happening?
We're writing now. I think we're making a goal to let's get it done a little bit quicker this time.
Yeah, we got a lot of new great song ideas that we're all very excited about.
Yeah, 3 or 4 already. So I guess we'll, in terms of release, we'll look at, I'm not sure if we'll do another EP or try a full length, but we've got some ideas for extending the Archetype suite. So that's the 3 set of songs on the newest EP that follows the initial 3 songs from Shade and Soil. So we'll probably do another group of those.
We've got a lot of those in the works. And yeah, we're just focusing on songs. We're not exactly sure how we're going to package the next release.
Any live shows coming?
Nothing scheduled yet.
Okay.
We got to get back in shape. I feel like live shape, a lot of endurance.
Studio shape's different.
Get those blisters back on the hands, and the calluses.
Absolutely.
All that.
Are you guys gonna shoot for New Masquerade?
Maybe Purgatory or
Yeah,
Hell
we
of
that'd
a
be
New
nice.
Masquerade?
New Masquerade, yeah.
Well,
That'll probably happen.
yeah. We'll take what we can get. Like you were saying with the podcast and going to Rome, I feel like for us it's a little bit of starting over too. It's in terms of social media and your following. This after 7 years, sort of like a lot of those fans that were there older and
Yeah.
Hey, we're
tastes
still fans.
change. And
We're still fans.
There's some out there,
Like,
but
just-
we're just sort of getting back in the game. I think.
Just because I'm still a fan doesn't mean the shows work the same. Look, man, there are
Yeah.
insoles in my Converse, and I have
Yes.
earplugs in.
Yeah.
Wear the docks.
Like I'm gonna be standing back there at the soundboard because A, that's out of the crowd, and B, that's where it sounds the best.
Yeah.
Most of the time, depends on who's doing your mix.
Yeah, I wound up in a pit at the He Is Legend show in Atlanta a couple of weeks ago, and at first I was like, man, I'm too old for this shit. But yeah, it was Johnny Booth that was playing, and I was like, man, this is fucking awesome. Like, there's nothing like being in a pit at a metal show, Like, I don't listen to a lot of heavy stuff in my leisure time, but live, it's just,
Yeah.
I don't care if you've never heard metal music before. If you're there and it's hitting you in the face like that, like, you just gotta.
The
gotta
energy
get
of a live
involved.
show
Yeah.
is different. I was the same with. I went to an Era show in April, and Make Them Suffer was the opener, and I remember like listening to Make Them Suffer, and I got dragged into the circle pit. I managed to get out, but somehow or other, as we got to Era, I started off in the back and I ended up at the rail. I was like, I don't know how I got here, but sweet.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah.
You can get just totally lost.
Yeah, and then at the end of it, hobbling back to my car, I'm just like, I'm too old for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I missed out on all that when I was younger. I didn't do the music scene. I didn't start the podcast till I was, too old. Anyway.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about it.
But, coming back to that, what were you guys' influences? Like, how did you guys get into the music that you guys play?
Oh, from early on?
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's go way back.
Very young.
It's going to be different for each of us. I mean, I grew up in a musical family. I guess we can talk personally.
Yeah.
I've got musicians in the family. My grandfather was a trumpet player. He's a music professor. And Dad played drums. My mom's a piano teacher. So I was never, there's always music in the house and everything. And grew up on, classic rock, got into the progressive stuff from the 70s. And, yeah, I guess natural progression for most people in the 90s alternative and, sort of segued into the heavier stuff in high school and college. But yeah, so that was, a pivotal time for teenagers when they discover those bands at 13 or whatever sort of shape your end influences, overall influences. And then I guess I met Nick, our bass player, in middle school, and then Matt, our guitar player, around the same time. We all went to the same high school, and then I'll let you tell you and Matt story.
Yeah. Well, so my influence, I started playing the piano when I was 7. My parents aren't musical, but my grandfather is very into classical music, and so grew up with him, putting a baton in my hand and like quizzing me on, like, who is this, Austin? It's Beethoven. No, You know, here's why. So I had a lot of that influence at a young age. I picked up a guitar when I was 12 because I wanted to play in a band, and you don't play piano in a band. Right.
It's like the accordion.
Yeah, that's right. So I started on the acoustic guitar, moved into the electric guitar when I was 14, and I was probably 13 the first time I started a band. So I started writing young, and then I quickly realized it was kind of ridiculous that I couldn't play piano and play rock music. Right. Because I grew up with influences like Queen and Elton John, and you name it. Styx. I listened to my parents' Styx records.
Nice.
And Rush. They were probably some of the earliest two progressive influences.
Love Rush.
And then in college, I met Matt, and we started playing together. We started writing together, and just happened to run into Nick, and I gave him a CD that I had burned of just a couple of those songs that we had, and he passed it on to Trib, and we got our rhythm section.
Yeah, package deal.
Yeah, which you can't beat. Like if you've got a rhythm section that's been playing together since middle school,
you're winning
You're
at that.
set.
it's pretty
point.
good. It's pretty good. And then Kuiper, we met playing shows. His band Cerulean was from the Knoxville area, and like I said before, we played in Knoxville a good bit. We played with them, and when Matt stepped away, that was the first person I reached out to.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as the musical influence, I mean, I studied piano performance in college, but I didn't want to be a classical performer,
Yeah.
But that has always been a very heavy influence for me.
And I feel like it comes out in your music. You've got that classical, like that undertone that is really cool. So I like that.
That's from the get-go. I think that's a lot of that's Austin. Obviously, his piano and classical mindset. So when I first heard, they had like 2 songs. He and Matt had just put together a demo with GarageBand, 2009.
Yep.
It was cool. It was like there's definitely Muse in there at the time. 30 Seconds to Mars, because that first album of theirs was like my favorite. That was when they were a rock band, not what they are now. So it was very interesting, with the piano and the rock. And it wasn't too heavy. It wasn't, it was very accessible, melodic. I think we really stress melody in all of our stuff. It doesn't have some sort of melody. We typically don't end up doing anything with it. But so yeah, that's a big part of it is that classical, influence.
Which we moved away from slightly with this most recent release. There's 2 songs with piano in it. I played organ on Holy Water, so just kind of a different flavor there. And there's no keys at all on Begin with the End, because we were just kind of experimenting with more of just a rock sound. And I think there's probably more of a modern heavy tone to the new stuff as well.
Yeah, more, I guess, guitar driven, you could say. But the production's more of a metal, quote unquote, production. And, a lot of it's Kuiper coming in the interim, these 7 years, and he had a lot of ideas, and he's got a different sort of guitar approach than Matt does. And so he would, several of the songs started with probably him.
Yeah, the majority of the material.
A little more guitar focused.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank y'all for coming in. I've really enjoyed picking your brain on, what all you guys have been up to, because I know, like I said, it's been forever since we talked about doing this.
Yeah, I remember talking to you at a Schroeder show. That's got to be 2016 or something.
That's about right.
I don't know if you had it at the time, the podcast then, maybe.
So I did, but I wasn't pushing it like I should have been.
Yeah.
Because here's the funny part. So we're Atlanta, basically. We're Atlanta bands. Atlanta bands won't give you the time of day when it comes to, hey, I've got a podcast. I want to promote you guys. No. Like you guys were one of my first bands in Georgia. I had Seattle, Washington band. I had an Orlando, Florida band before I had anybody else in Georgia besides
Really?
you guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, y'all were like oh, cool. Yes, here's music. Here's
Yeah.
stuff. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
It's wild. You think it's at any level, whatever band you're in, you think there's, I mean, any kind of promotion or connections, you would think that people would be all over it, but
I think just because of the market,
Yeah.
so many people come through Atlanta thinking they're going to make it big off other people.
Yeah,
And
right.
the bands are like, no.
No.
right.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
The Atlanta scene has always been very self-insulated.
Is that called gatekeeping?
It is now,
Yeah.
but at least me knowing and growing up around some of the bands that they're now out in LA that are from the Atlanta scene, noting that if you get in, you're in. If you don't get in, yeah, either go somewhere else or buzz off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's very like a like
Right.
self-insulating thing where you have to know somebody who knows somebody to kind of nudge your way in there.
Sure. Yeah.
So
Interesting.
Yeah. The podcasting world is just, it's completely different. Like, I feel like we would have been further along with the pit if I'd actually started when I was like pushing it in the beginning. Because I mean, so a friend of mine, we had this idea in 2011, 2012, started pushing around 2013. But at that point, I mean, everything was so expensive. Plus, nobody knew what a podcast was.
Right.
Yeah.
You're going to be a
Yeah.
radio station? No.
There's
Now
so
everybody
many
has
now.
one.
Oh yeah,
so
everybody's
many.
got a podcast now.
Right.
And if you don't have a name, I mean, you're not getting listens.
Nope.
So,
That's
But I still think it's a great way to meet people and network and things like that. You know, I mean, I think it brings value all the way around. Part of what I do with the studio is produce podcasts for other people.
Oh, that's cool.
And edit them. And I just see it all the time where, you know, maybe this new podcast isn't getting a lot of streams right now, but these guests that are coming through and like the relationships that are being established during the show are really valuable.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the, it's one of the ideas that I've had for the pit, kind of as a rebrand new idea, is bringing in different pieces of different bands and letting them, like bands that don't know each other, and kind of let them interview each other.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
that
that'd be
is
a
cool.
neat
That'd be
idea.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot of nerd talk.
I'm good with that.
Very technical and just, yeah.
I'm good with that. If it goes from Star Wars to music theory to, I don't know.
circling back around to Star Trek.
Yeah. Hey, and then they want to grab a guitar off the wall. Hey, let's do it.
Yeah.
I mean, well, anything else out of you, Wes?
No. I was just going to be quiet and let you guys talk.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we appreciate you having us in. It's taken a few years, but glad to be here.
Well, thank you guys for taking the
for
time
chatting.
to come hang out with us today.
Of course.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely need to be up at 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning. So,
Look, man, they got me out of bed before 10 a.m. What is this?
guys, thank you again so much. Plug where we can find you on your socials, all your websites and fun stuff.
Yeah, social is going to be Ethos ATL, and our website's ethosband.com. And you can find our newest EP, An Eye for an Eye, on any streaming platform you can imagine.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Well,
All right, we're out.
yeah.
Cool. Thanks.